My name is Tammy. I'm with Card Creators Plus, along with Stephanie and Bernie. And we are doing the series where once a month we make a Christmas card. We're trying to get ahead, so we'll be ready when it comes time to send Christmas card. We'll already be ahead. So today I'd like to share with you a simple card that I've made. It's been around for a long time. I've made this card for several different occasions. It's been a birthday card, an Easter card. One year Stephanie and I done an Easter card like this. But it's really simple. It's a 5x7. It folds flat and very easy to make. So without further ado, let's get to it. So we're going to start off with, you're going to need just a 5x7 piece of cardstock. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to score it in the middle. But what we're going to do is just a light score. We're not going to fold it and burnish it or anything. So all we're going to do is just make us a light score. I'm going to have to put it where I can get to it. Just going to score just a little bit along there. And that little thing I done, I want to show you, made that when I messed up just a little bit. All you need to do is take your scoring tool, and if you go back over where you marked that you don't want, I do it mostly from the back side, but it'll come out good enough that you won't be able to tell. And that's all we're going to do. We're not going to fold it and burnish it down or anything. We're going to leave it just like that. So while we got the scoring board out, we'll go ahead and score our other things. We're going to need a piece of cardstock. It is 8 inches wide and 1 3/4 inches long. And you'll see that I took a die and cut these mountains, but you can cut them by hand. You can use your software and cut it, or you can just leave it flat. It doesn't have to have hills on it. So what we're going to do with this piece is we're going to score it 1/2 inch from each end. So this cardstock that I've got here, it's glitter cardstock, but it's not real glitter, if you know what I mean. I went over just, it wasn't straight. I'll do it again. I'm going to give that a good scoring. And then come on this end and do 1/2 inch here. And then we're going to need another piece. And this piece is 5 inches wide. And it's 2 3/4 inches long. And I'm going to do the same thing with it. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch on each end. Now there is a third piece, and when I made the birthday card and the Easter card, I'd done it as the third piece, and it was 3 inches wide and 2 1/4 inches long. But for this particular card, I'm going to leave that big piece off, and I'm just going to use my sentiment as my third piece. And this one is actually just a little 2 inch by 1 1/2 inch that I cut with a die to get it. But you can do these scalloped edges in the software too. We will have a template, and we'll have the images and all in the Facebook group. So that'll be all the scoring we're going to do for now. So the next thing I want to do, and sometimes I do this before I score it, but what I want to do is take this piece of background And instead of making it two separate pieces, I just cut a whole piece of 5x7 and put it on here. So I have found a new and easier way to put my glue on. Actually, I found a new glue, a new easier way to put the glue on, and an easy way to keep my bottle from stopping up. And it's new to me, but it's definitely not new to other crafters. Karen Burniston, she's been doing that for years. I've been watching her videos back 11 or 12 years ago, and she was doing it then. I wish I would have found it years ago because it works really well. But all you do is, these are just fine liner bottles, and I got mine on Amazon. I know there's plenty of places you can get it, but you just wet a paper towel and stick it in a bowl, or I've got this little glass that was my grandkids, and each day you wet that, not soaking wet, just spray, I use the little water mister and spray water in there, and then as you work, you just keep your tip in that, and it won't dry out. You won't have any problem whatsoever. All right, so we got that. So I'm going to go back to my scoring board, and I don't know, I guess because I'm doing a video, before I scored it at the same time as I did the card base, but anyway, I'm just going to go back and make me a score that way. It'll be ready. Okay. Now we put it together. And like I said, you'll be amazed how easy this card really is. And I feel it's pretty effective. So what you want to do is you want to take, and I like to take this piece and take my scoring tool and just go behind there and just run it through there, and it just helps it to get that little curve in it, so that when you put it down, you have it. So what we'll do, and I want to show you, when you make this, you can see that this part is going to show. So what I do is I take my scissors and I cut that part off, because you're not going to see it. So what I like to do is just cut me a little piece off, and I've done it on this end already, but that end I hadn't done it. I'm going to fold both ends in. And normally glue would work just fine by itself with this, but for some reason this glitter cardstock will not stick with just the glue. So I just use this tearing tape and put it down first, and then put the glue on top of it. They say it's tearing tape, but I find it easier to cut it off myself. Get a piece for the other side. And now I'll put the glue on top of that, and I guess that tape will just help it to grab long enough for it to set in. I'll go ahead and do both sides. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to take the edge of that and line it up with the edge of your card, the bottom and the side. and I am guilty of not giving it time to set. So that's the hardest part for me, is waiting on the glue to dry. Didn't want to take this end and come all the way over and line it up on the other end. Mine's going to be a little bit, here we go. Just give that a minute to dry. Like I said, this cardstock is different. The other cardstock in the past that I've used, I've never had an issue where it didn't take the glue pretty quick. In fact, you wish it could wait, but for some reason this one, it takes it a minute to really get in there good. So what we're going to do is the same thing with this one. We're going to fold it over and put some tape first and then glue. Like I said, this cardstock can be just a little difficult to work with. I insisted on using because it's the fake glittery kind, and I wanted the glitter to look like snow. Okay. What we're going to do with this, I'm going to give it a little, not as much, but just a little. And where it goes is you try to center it the best you can over that score in the center of the 5x7 piece. You want to put it in here. I'm going to bring it down to about right there. And then glue set up. Get that glue just a little bit to really stick in there before I mess with it. And then the last piece, which is, I actually printed my cinnamon on there. But this is where you would put that piece if you don't want it to be your cinnamon. Another piece you could put there that's 3 inches wide and 2 1/4 long. And you could, score it a 1/2 inch and do it just the same way you did those other two. But I chose to just use my cinnamon as a flat cinnamon there. And I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to line it up with the top of my card. It's going to go there. I have to get my head right over it so I can see. I Might even let it come off the page just a tad bit. There we go. There we go. So now we've got our base ready. So all we have to do now is add our animals. So it won't take you but a second and you'll see a theme. So on these little animals, it's up to you if you choose to glue them down flat or put pop dots on them, because the card has quite a bit of dimension already. And you could have more if you wanted. I mean, it wouldn't hurt. I've done it both ways. But I'm going to just glue these down. And I did make them double-sided because I wasn't sure which way when I was doing it, I was going to have them facing. So if there's no words on there, then we could definitely have them on either side. So I'm going to put him right here in this corner. And then I'm going to have his little friend, the bear, go in the center. The little fox is trying to cheer the bear up, say, hey, get with a beat. Because the bear's got a look on his face like, do I really want to be here? There we go. And then Mr. Badger here, he's in a pretty good mood too. He's grinning. We'll put some glue on him and get him stuck down. Wasn't sure if his head would come up above the thing, so I didn't add no glue. So now I'll go back and add some since I can see. Should have measured it before, I guess. Just adding glue to the head. Here we go. Now the three little guys are doing their thing. And we're going to take Miss Doe and put her up on the top one. I'm thinking her head's definitely going to come off the top, so put her up here. And then we'll put her little friend, Miss Raccoon, on the other side. Make sure they're all glued down, and the next thing you know, you've got a little scene. It sits up. Like I said, it's an extremely simple card to make, but I think it's quite effective. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. And we have a Facebook group, Card Creators Plus, the same as the YouTube channel. If you'd like to join us, the files for these cards and all the cards we make are there. They're free if you want to grab them. All right. Thank you. Bye till next time.